Have you ever heard something you shouldn't have? A sound so familiar, yet so terribly wrong. It makes the hairs on your arms stand up. I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story about a night that started like any other, but ended with a truth more terrifying than any nightmare. So, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and listen closely. It was one of those quiet, moonless nights, the kind where the silence is so deep you can hear your own heartbeat. I was up late, lost in a book, the rest of the house asleep. That's when I heard it, a voice cutting through the stillness of the yard outside. Sweetheart, come on out. It was my mother's voice. Or almost. The pitch was right. The cadence was familiar. But there was a strange, hollow echo to it. A slight delay. Like a bad phone connection. I put my book down, a knot of confusion tightening in my stomach. Why would Mom be outside at this hour? It was past midnight. She was a notoriously early sleeper. Honey, I need your help with something. The voice called again, a little louder this time. A weird, wheedling tone creeping in. My curiosity got the better of my unease. I crept to the living room window, the one that overlooked our sprawling, dark backyard. I pulled back the edge of the curtain, just a fraction, and peered out. And my blood ran cold. Standing in the middle of the lawn, bathed in the faint glow of the porch light, was a figure. It was tall, way too tall. Its limbs were long and spindly, bent at angles that weren't quite right. It was wearing my mother's favorite floral nightgown, but it hung on this thing like a scarecrow's rags. It was swaying slightly, a grotesque parody of a person waiting patiently. My heart was hammering against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the otherwise silent house. Then it turned its head towards the window, as if it could feel my eyes on it, and it smiled. Oh, that smile! It was a gash, a black crescent that stretched impossibly wide, splitting the lower half of its face. The teeth within were too long, too sharp, like a row of broken glass. It raised a long, jointed arm and beckoned, its fingers like twigs. Come on, sweetie, don't make your mother wait. The voice was the same, but hearing it come from that grin made my stomach churn. with primal fear, I stumbled back from the window, my breath catching in my throat. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. My mind was screaming, "That's not her. That's not your mother." But my body was frozen. What was I supposed to do? Call the police? What would I even say? There's a monster in my yard, wearing my mom's nightgown. They'd think I was crazy. The thing in the yard called my name again. The sound distorted and grating, laced with an awful, eager hunger. Each syllable was a hook, trying to pull me out into the darkness. I was mesmerized by the sheer wrongness of it all. My feet rooted to the spot. Part of me, a small, foolish part, wanted to believe I was dreaming, that I'd just wake up and laugh about this bizarre nightmare. Suddenly, a hand clamped down on my shoulder. I nearly jumped out of my skin, whirling around with a choked gasp. Standing behind me, shrouded in the dim light of the hallway, was my mother. My real mother. Her face was pale, her eyes wide, with a terror that mirrored my own. She was wearing her old, faded blue robe, her knuckles white as she clutched it shut. She brought a trembling finger to her lips, her gaze locked on the window, on the thing standing outside. She leaned in close, her voice a barely audible whisper, a ghost of a sound against my ear. "Don't look at it, and whatever you do, don't open the door." Her breath hitched, a tiny, terrified sob. I heard it too. That thing isn't me. Her words hit me like a physical blow, confirming the impossible truth. We were trapped inside our own home, with a predator at our door, a mimic that wore a familiar face and spoke with a familiar voice. The creature outside called my name again, the sound now dripping with a chilling impatience. It knew we were in here. It knew we were watching, and it was waiting. My mother pulled me away from the window, guiding me back into the shadows of the hallway. "We have to be quiet," she breathed, her hand still gripping my arm like a vice. "Don't make a sound." We stood there, huddled together in the dark, listening to the voice of the thing that was pretending to be her, calling for me, begging me to come outside and play. The calls became more insistent, then angry. We heard a scratching sound at the front door, Long, slow drags of something sharp against the wood, then a rattling at the knob. It was testing the locks. We didn't sleep that night. We stayed in the hallway. Our backs pressed against the wall until the first rays of morning light filtered through the windows. The voice had stopped hours ago, but the silence that followed was somehow even more terrifying. When the sun was fully up, my dad, who had slept through the entire ordeal in their sound-proofed bedroom, came out and found us. He didn't understand the state we were in, the sheer, exhausted terror on our faces. He went to the front door, unlocked it, and stepped outside. The yard was empty. There were no footprints, no sign that anything had been there at all, except for one thing: my mother's floral nightgown, the one I'd seen on that creature, was lying in a heap on the dew-soaked grass, torn and muddied, but unmistakably hers. We never spoke of it again. Not really. How do you explain something like that? But every night, I check the locks not twice, and sometimes, when the house is quiet and the night is dark, I think I can still hear it. A faint, distant whisper on the wind calling my name. So if you ever hear a loved one calling for you from outside in the middle of the night, just do me one favor. Make sure they're not already inside the house with you. Thanks for listening to my story tonight. It's stories like these that remind us that sometimes the most frightening things are those that pretend to be safe. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.